Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing the Omega Seamaster Aqua Terra 15,000 Gauss. You can see this revolutionary and versatile men's timepiece and purchase it on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and please click on the card in the upper right-hand corner of the screen at any time during this video to see our full sales listing for this watch with additional accessories included in the sale, high-resolution images for your desktop, and naturally complete pricing details for this Omega Seamaster Aqua Terra. Now, this watch came out in 2013, and it was both a revolution and a revelation, effectively rendering a production wristwatch amagnetic for the first time. Sure, others had done limited series prototypes and succeeded to varying degrees, but only Omega created a consumer product that anyone could buy and wear daily with confidence without any concerns about excessively specialized materials or delicate mechanisms. A true all-arounder. This watch is a versatile 41.5 millimeters across the round of the case on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist. It's also reasonably slim. The Aqua Terra has always been the surf turf Seamaster, a little bit more genteel and versatile than the large and some might even say excessively thick rotating bezel dive watches. 13 millimeters in profile with a conical bezel, it'll slide underneath any dress cuff, and from lug to lug it's a very tidy 50.3 millimeters, and that does include the solid end links of the bracelet, so 50.3 across the wrist. This watch could be worn, in my estimation, on a wrist as small as 14 centimeters in circumference with style and security. The watch is substantial. As you can see, this is the modern era Omega, so the bracelet is sized entirely with screws. It's also handsomely finished. As you can see, the outer links are satin brushed, the center links are polished, and the flanks are also in high polish. The same level of attention to detail is evident in the clasp, which features a full polished interior, twin trigger release, so it can't simply pop open. It is not friction fit. You can also see that it's nicely curved on the underside, so it'll trace the arc of the wrist. The soft underside of the wrist always appreciates a thoughtfully curved chassis for a clasp, and the clasp itself, not being a hardcore dive clasp with a built-in extension, doesn't have a high profile, and it's less susceptible to desk diving scars than some of the Seamaster 300 and Planet Ocean clasps can be. The case is also sensible and attractive. Now, it has the characteristic combination of sheer flanks and bevels that you see on the rotating bezel professional models of the Speedmaster and Seamaster family, but right here you can see that it's slimmer in profile and more delicate in its details. The bevel is thinner, the case is shorter top to bottom, and the bezel features a little bit of a halo effect in as much as when you look at the watch in profile, the bezel melts away. It's designed to be downplayed. It's not a dominant feature as the 300 meters and the Planet Oceans feature. The watch has a dial that is handsome and measured. Omega could have gone overboard with the amagnetic themes. Instead, it's restricted to a handsome and discreet yellow detail on black base color scheme with all applied and polished indices. You can see handsome broad arrow minute hand and a Dauphine style stub hour hand. They went a little bit wacky with the constant seconds, but hey, they're in good company. Rolex did the same with the Milgauss, and there is a subtle vertically striated teak deck embossed pattern. It is still a member of the Aqua Terra family. The Omega marquee and logo at 12 o'clock are applied, not printed. The dial is handsome, but fairly minimalist, all things considered. In the world of sports watches, this is about as spare as it gets. You'll also note that even the date window is relatively downplayed, without any kind of aperture or frame to emphasize its presence. It's a beautifully balanced dial and abundantly legible in any light. Now, the watch is also quite practical in as much as the minimal flanks don't feature any large horned crown guards, so you can easily gain access to the crown. You can see even though my hand is gloved, I have no problem threading it out. That's not always the case with dive watches featuring oversized crown guards. Now, the caliber that you see here is unique to the model, or at least it was when the model debuted. You're looking at caliber 8508. Resplendent in its glory on the case back. It was a breakthrough at the time in as much as it used silicon components to essentially render itself immune to magnetic effects. The watch has been tested many times in the presence of particle accelerators, medical MRIs, to no detrimental impact on timekeeping. Now, of course, Some of the features include that travel time hour hand that allow you to jump between time zones without actually stopping the watch. You see the seconds hand continues beating away, so you can adjust your time without impacting the performance of this chronometer. And it also features, when you pull the crown completely, hacking or stop seconds. Now, to adjust the date, you simply run the hour hand all the way around 2 cycles, and you can drive it forward or backwards to jump the date forward or backwards as you cross the international date line. With the screw-down crown and the screwed-in case back, this is a watch that could easily pass as your dress option that's also 150 meters water resistant. The twin mainspring barrels yield an even torque release for excellent chronometric precision throughout the 60 hours of autonomy, but more importantly, they give you 60 hours of power reserve. The watch features a dual-anchored balance bridge with a free-sprung index for shock resistance, of course the SI-14 hairspring for resistance to magnetism, and a handsome arabesque coat spiral pattern that splays out across the bridges as well as the winding mass. The screws are blackened rather than polished or blued, which is characteristic of the Omega 8500 and 9300 families and their successors. It's quite attractive. The timepiece does feature the Daniels coaxial escapement in its later tri-level evolution, so it's both very accurate and very durable, and it beats away at the quirky coaxial specific beat rate of 25,200 vibrations per hour. This is an all-arounder. It's also a milestone watch. When we think back to the decade of the 2010s and we ask what were the true breakthroughs, we're probably going to discount most of the complications, most of the standout styles, things that were perhaps just busy style or excessive intricacy posing as innovation, things that were really not going to move the ball in the long term. We will remember the arrival of amagnetic watches, solving a long, vexing problem for watchmakers and consumers alike. This watch was the breakthrough. See it and own it on our website.